welcome back to another CaCo's Talks. We are your hosts, Catelyn and Courtney Geiger, and tonight we are playing a game that we came up with called Where Do We Draw the Line? Hello everyone, welcome. We are super excited to play a new game that we kind of came up with, honestly, called Where Do We Draw the Line? And so how do we play this game? What we're going to do is we're going to kind of throw random topics out there. And we're going to just say, like, where do we draw the line? When is enough? Enough is just enough, right? So I think the first one, do you want me to throw it out or you want to go first, Courtney?
You go first. You came up with this game.
Okay. So this was a while ago. This was sometime last year, probably like June, July, something like that. But we saw something about a transgender impregnating a female inmate. So, like, where do we draw the line with this? I don't want to minimize people's identity in the LGBTQ plus community. But when it comes to transgenders in the what do we call that system?
Justice system?
Correction. In the justice system, correction system, justice system, okay. Correction, either one of those. Where do you think we draw the line, Courtney?
Well, I personally think that, I'm going to draw the line at why is a CO messing with an inmate? Okay.
Always well, it's not a CO. It's a transgender person that was incarcerated. So an inmate impregnates a female inmate.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Well, I'm drawing a line there too. Why is y'all in jail impregnating each other? That's number one. Inmate to inmate, regardless of what your gender is, regardless of what your... So on that level, I say you're in jail. You're really not supposed to be impregnating anyone or anything. Okay. Mm-hmm. But I guess we do know that sexual escapades do happen in jail. So, mm-hmm. It's been a running joke for a long time. But, that's what "don't drop the soap" means. That's very much that. So,
yeah. Well, that's what's like males like becoming gay.
Yeah, but that's for sexual activity. So, I guess
gay for the stay. That's a big one too.
Yeah. So I guess what I really think the thing is like the real issue is, I guess, less about the impregnation. It's more about, do we allow transgendered women, transgendered women who have male genitalia, I'm assuming, and reproductive organs into a female facility based off of the gender they identify with. That seems to be the bigger issue, is like less about the actual impregnation. The impregnation is a result of this decision.
And also too, like in prison, there's, can you fully comply with your needs as a pregnant person while you're in prison? So, I know people do it, but like that has to be difficult. And then you have to figure out where this child is going and... What'd you say?
We knew somebody who did do it.
Baby, the devil himself did it, period.
Okay, go ahead. That's another conversation.
I digress. Don't get me started on that one, because Jesus. All I'm going to say is splash with a lot of extra speed.
Okay, go ahead. What do you think?
I don't even know. You made me lose my train of thought with that one. Jesus.
About taking care of somebody who is pregnant in jail.
Oh yeah, there are concerns about a pregnant female in prison, because it is it's a very different world with like violence and crime, and you have the access to the things that you need while you're in there pregnant.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I guess I think like it's a tough situation, because I can't imagine that jail is obviously the ideal situation for a pregnant mother to be in. But I'm sure they have some protocol for pregnant women in a prison or a jail.
Oh, for sure.
Obviously they're not having baby showers and maybe they are. I don't know.
Maybe they. Shoot,
Maybe they
get
are.
some
I don't
commissary.
know. But I don't know. It really, I guess, depends. Like, I don't know. I believe the more interesting thing is like, do we jail people based on their genitalia or their gender identity?
I feel like what they should do is create a different, like maybe a little unit, like a little small unit for transgenders. So like all transgenders who identify maybe as female but are biologically male, they go on a unit,
Mm-hmm.
and vice versa for those who identify as um, now male but they're biologically females, right? Because
Yeah.
then it will keep um, females essentially with females, but then it creates less of a target for those who are more like. I don't know if I would put a transgender on an all male unit either, because
Yeah, I was
there's
gonna say
probably he's
because
probably prone to be attacked
to
and
be
targeted.
attacked by the
So
men,
yeah,
which is sad that the only real issue with that is like men's transphobia
hmm
and like
yeah, and
violence.
even like not even that for the guys who just want like some type of sexual gratification, they're probably prone to rape and all that stuff too. So
Mm-hmm.
even I mean
And
they probably are homophobic, but I guess it's good enough while you're in jail. I don't know.
It's wild.
It is. It's disgusting.
It's really, yeah, it is. Because it's like they're not protected in jail, they're not protected outside of jail.
hmm
Um,
But the key in this is where we draw the line. Don't go to jail.
yeah, don't go to jail and don't be impregnating people in jail. I think that's where the line
Yeah.
is really first should be drawn.
Yeah.
But
This poor child. Like, this
yeah,
poor child.
and then the other thing is, I guess, like you said, I agree. I think maybe separate facilities where transgendered individuals are with each other
Yeah.
and,
Or like
and
maybe just like a small unit or something. Like, just.
yeah,
'Cause I don't think there will be like maybe a surplus of them, because I think you also have to take into account maybe like gender confirmation surgeries and stuff like that. So like now if they have
mhm,
female parts, like you'll probably have to put them on like a female unit. But like all the transgender can kind of be together.
yeah, people whose identity is not the same as their biological makeup.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So there's at least like even like a support system there, you know.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. I hate the idea of segregation, but I do feel like it's based off of the, I hate to say everything's based off of patriarchy, but it's based off of the patriarchal idea that like anything that's not absolutely 100% male is somehow inferior and therefore prone to violence, like
Yeah.
separate violence. So if that idea, they had gotten rid of that, because reality is y'all all sitting in jail for some, honestly, usually some patriarchal bullshit. You know what I mean? So like you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna go in jail and then try to like, you know, commit violence against fellow inmates, another inmate. Um, because most of the time, I don't say most of the time, but a lot of men are in jail for for what? Violence, which is a patriarchal thing, or like potentially murder,
Mm-hmm.
drugs, right? These
Yeah.
things which are like they themselves are victims of patriarchy, then they go and inflict that on somebody else. Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what it feels. You know what? Something I do worry. I wonder is like, what does it feel like to be that destitute? I've never been that destitute in my life, and maybe that's just because of the way I was raised. But I've never been so like the only way out was to commit crime or fight or
Mm-hmm.
no. I've never been. I just don't understand that mentality. I don't get that.
Yeah, but I think this I don't know if it's like maybe like a lack of caring, or if it's a lack of um accountability and aware of consequences, because we were hyper aware of consequences. Like my mom was like, if you do this is what's gonna happen, period, poo, okay. And I'm
Yeah.
talking about like since I can remember. So with that, it's like you have to constantly stay in a state of always being accountable, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, because like I don't know, I've never even thought about like even like stealing. Like it's just like if I can't
Exactly.
get it, I just can't get it. Like
Exactly. I've never thought. And that's why I feel like it's got to be a trauma response.
Yeah, could be.
That like your only form of like existing, communicating is a negative form. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like a
I
negative
have heard
way.
someone say that like they felt like certain things were owed to them, which I think is out of trauma too. But like that's why they kind of do crime. It's like they steal because they feel like this is owed to them, and it's like, I mean, I hear what you're saying, but like that's not how America works. So,
like because they went without for so long or something.
I mean, I don't know their whole background, but they just feel like why should I have to pay for this? This should be a basic right, kind of thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think, yes, I think you can get into the ethics of things, but then is it ethical to do something ethically wrong too?
Yeah, just because you're doing something wrong, you do something wrong. Like,
yeah,
two wrongs don't make a right.
Exactly. And then especially when that wrong has worse consequences for you, unfortunately, the individual.
Yeah.
Versus like Target or wherever you steal from, you know, I don't know, but
not Target, y'all. Don't do that one. Target and cameras galore. They'll catch you. Trust me, you're on a mugshot.
Target is waiting for you at the door,
honey. You were on a mugshot. By the time you exit that door, you was on a mugshot. Please, for the life of God, go to Walmart, please. Just go to Walmart. Woo, save yourself.
Not telling people where to go, where to be the op at.
Honestly, it's just I've never had to steal or anything. Like I've never done it. Or like I probably have taken something, but like not intentionally, right?
Yeah.
So if I accidentally took it, it was probably from Walmart.
Yeah, that's true.
Like because it's just so much. It's like easier. Like it's just so easy versus like Target. Like every corner there's a goddamn associate.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
I actually did take something out of Walmart, but I was very little. I was like an itty bitty. I don't think I was even over 5.
The way Mom got on that booty.
Yeah, I remember Mom was like,
"Girl, I was like, you ain't ever gotta worry about me stealing. That was enough for me."
No. Corrective parenting, because I'm telling you, well, I've never sold anything. Like at the time, I didn't recognize it as stealing. I still had the thing in my hand, and we were walking out of the store.
But Mom told you to put it back, and you wouldn't put it back.
Mom did tell me to put it back, and I didn't put it back. But it didn't register in my mind this is bad. That I'm...
Oh, well, after that, Mom was
like, you're walking this back.
BG was like,
you are not.
You going?
It was very much like only lesson that day. I was like, oh shoot.
You know, maybe that's why we don't steal, because I was like, Mom just made such a big deal about it. Like I was like, damn, like the world is going to end. Truly, like, whoa. But honestly, that may be why. Like, Mom was like, oh no. Like, she made Courtney storm back in. She made Courtney go tell the lady that she stole it. Then she made Courtney pay for it, then leave it. I was like, God, no, this is brutal.
I had to pay
5-year-old me was, and you still had to pay for it. And then she still made you leave it.
Oh, damn.
No, I remember she like made you like, she was like, you're paying for this. And you don't get to take it home either.
It was like gummer. It was something very small.
It was real small. Yeah, it was real small.
And I was like, picked it up, and I was just like, I guess I just want to put it back. Whatever, we'll log out with it. And
baby, I'm telling you, all I said, literally, I never had to steal because I saw that. Saw the reaction.
Never. I remember the lady being
and
like,
then my mom also too. Yeah, the lady was like, "Oh, it's no big deal." My mom was like,
"She said that." Mom was like, "Absolutely not." No.
Right? Mom was like, "Oh no, we don't condone that." Right? Because she will not be a thief. No. But also too, another thing that Mom is very adamant on from day one, from what I can remember, if you go to jail, you sitting in there. Period.
Yeah.
Nobody's coming to get you out. So you do the crime, you do the time. Period. Even if you obviously if you're not guilty, then okay, there we go. But if there's even a remote inkling that you might be guilty, you're sitting and you're rotting. Period.
I also think too, she was just very much like, we noticed other parents who were around, they were like, they seemed to throw their hands up when their kid did something bad instead of correcting the behavior immediately right there. And the way mom made somewhat embarrassing public displays. And I'm not saying that that's always but she made it very much, this is not okay with me. You are not to do this. And I think some other parents, when their kids would do stuff, it was like, oh God, what am I gonna do with so and so? And it became about their anxiety, their worry. And mom was just very much like, correct this behavior immediately, and you deal with the consequences. That's why I had to go back and give it back. Tell the lady that I did something wrong, pay for it, and leave it and go.
Yeah.
And it became
that's
it
probably
was
true.
very much
That's
about
probably
like,
fair.
you correct this action behavior because we're not gonna do this again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which I
Instead
don't
of
think, like,
making it
even if
like,
she
oh my
didn't make a
God,
public,
like,
I think even if she
you
didn't
know,
make a public display like she did, like, we would have got a good, probably
yeah,
not a spanking or anything, but we probably would have got a good wrecking with, at
yeah.
home either way. So
I just think that
honestly,
like,
Courtney got all the
I was like, was
handlings.
it bad?
That was enough for me.
Probably. I was enough. I had enough of the learning lessons.
Courtney got all the lessons for me. I don't remember mom ever spanking me, bro.
For real?
Honestly, not
Dang.
once.
I didn't remember her spanking me.
Now
But
throwing vases, that's normal.
Yeah,
That's humbling.
I was sort of rough till like 11 or 12. I don't know what it was, some energy or something.
I don't either.
But I was sort of rough that time.
It was a little shaky. It was
It
really
was like
testing the
Aries.
boundary.
I think I was just
Yeah.
testing the boundaries, and like mom was not having it. Like she just really wasn't having it. And then I chilled out after that. I really did chill out.
Yeah.
Going into middle school, I was not a crazy child. I wasn't really crazy in elementary school or anything like that, but when I would like get into things as a kid, you know what I mean? So I don't know.
All right. So where do we draw the line?
Okay, so where do we draw the line? I think, okay, I don't know if I had this rant on here, but I draw the line at parking enforcement.
Because the ones around you have been on that ass.
They be on.
I'm telling on it. I'm telling you, they is on your behind. That's why you salt.
That's why, yeah.
That's funny.
I draw the line because I'm like, I don't see no type of road improvements. That's where I draw the line.
Because
the
salaries out there is high, so the salaries is a little. The salaries are high. That's why the salaries are high. There's a valid excuse. And the thing is, like, so the people are really doing what they're, what they're called to do.
Their job,
But
I'm gonna see a little on my end too. It's like, okay, so I'm paying a ticket that really, like, okay, y'all are just straight profiting from this because I can't park here, but I can't park there. So you're gonna violate me if I do this at this time, or violate, and you just give them free money. They're just generating money. That's what this is, because they own the land, so they're generating money. It's like paying for parking, paying to park. So just free money, just handing them free money. Okay, that's cool. And pay the people. Pay them a comparable wage. Okay, fine. But do we got to have a pothole every 2 to 3 miles? And why isn't, if I'm parked where street cleaning is happening, why is the street still nasty when I come to get my car, but I got a ticket on the thing?
Y'all need to worry about them potholes.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if you're going to be ticketing people, how about we make sure the streets are immaculate? Now, I can see if the streets are,
and there's parking.
Yeah, and then there's parking spaces enough for everybody. It's not like y'all telling people to park elsewhere when there's nowhere else to park. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you're making people basically park and get tickets.
Just wild.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I'm wilding, huh?
How about I'm all about citing people when it's appropriate to cite them, but how about we just give a little to get a little, because I would be more willing to move my car if I knew, okay, the streets is really just, if the street cleaners was just really on their shit too, like, okay, I never have to worry about a pothole. I never have to worry about, a mountain of trash near my car. I never have to worry about the street sign halfway hitting my window shield. But the streets is not clean. They're not clean. And I do have an issue with that.
Would you like to leave a PSA for the parking enforcement near you?
I would like to make a PSA. I would like to start a coalition to investigate the parking enforcement and the street authority where I'm currently living. Because me personally, I want to vote. I want a boat.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. That back wheel thing that really had me in a chokehold. I was like,
Yes.
dang, I could cut
It was
this up,
$90
right?
ticket for the back wheel being in the red zone. $90. The back wheels. That was more than just my car not with the street cleaning. Because those would be $75. But the back wheels, I was trying to keep it in the gray zone. You knew I was trying. I'm like, some of y'all just
mind you, Courtney's little car is so tiny, so it's like she probably was really trying.
No, really, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I got one of the smallest cars probably manufactured on the market today. You telling me that your big fire truck is going to somehow not be able to get to access the building because the back wheels of my car are in the red zone?
Maybe. They're just doing their job. They're doing what they came here to do, and that was to...
Okay, that should have been a $20 ticket max. Don't do it again. We know you were trying. Just, we got to give you something because of the violation. Fine. $90, sir. That's
You're
two
running
bills.
out.
That's a full
ticket. That's a regular ticket.
That's what I'm saying. If I was speeding, sure, $90. If I was going 80 and a 20, okay, slow it down. I'm like,
honestly, then, like, come on, Mr. Sir, I'm clearly in a rush. Exactly. You're slowing me down.
I didn't even, story time. This is bad. I shouldn't tell anybody this, but this is what truly happened, real life facts. I was coming out of South Carolina, driving through Georgia, going 90 and on the highway. Okay, don't do that.
Oh, that's regular around here, honey. You go with the flow of traffic.
I was going 90. I was like 90, almost 95, which, like, Lord Jesus, what was I doing? But I had my music up, so I didn't even know I was going that fast.
Jamming, that's what that is. You jamming, rocking and rolling.
Right? The cop pulled me over with a warning for going 90 and like a 65, 70.
But no, like, for real, like in Georgia, for real, you go with the flow of traffic.
Exactly. Like, there was nobody on the road. So I was making my own traffic. So
see, that's where you messed up. Now, if the traffic's going 90, then you continue.
He was like, just slow it down for me, He asked me where I was going. I told him where I was going. And he was like, you trying to get there tonight? And I was like, well,
yep, honestly. Honey, the sooner the better. It's a lengthy ride.
So, but yeah, that was just a warning. And I was like, that would have warranted, I thought I was going to get a ticket because I was like, that would have warranted, in my opinion, a ticket.
That makes sense. Yeah. That's true.
But the back wheel in the red zone?
For parking?
For parking?
When there's no one else to park?
Right? I'm like, every time I see one of their cars, I'm just like, y'all are just like the little gremlins of the city.
Oh, you got to tell them about when they was parking in the red.
Oh, yeah. And they'll park in the red zone all the time, put their blinkers on, stop traffic, do the whole, like, emergency stop, whatever thing. And I'm like, y'all don't even follow these rules.
Should have wrote them a ticket, period.
Like, can I start making citizens parking citations?
You should. Because
I go around. If I see I'll be like, ticket.
That'd be hilarious.
Like, this girl, there's some random girl out there just ticketing parking enforcement. Watch out, y'all. Yeah, watch out for me. They'll have me up in the employee lounge. Like, this the one. Yep. But yeah, that's where I draw the line. And I am going to do some research into, like, where does the parking funds go to? Because I want to go to the next
speed bumps or the holes in the road.
What's going on with the money?
Yes, and my tax dollars, because where are those going to?
Exactly. No, my ass has not paid a single ounce of taxes in the state, but you know what? But they got my
can't relate.
My citation money. So right? Yeah.
That's enough, huh?
But yeah, that's where I draw the line. You got another one?
That's hilarious. Yeah. I think, and I say this with a grain of salt, but I think I'm drawing the line on the number of animals you should have.
Yes.
Because I have 4 of these bad boys, and I tell you, every day there's something. Something is always going wrong. Somebody is always feeling some type of way. Somebody need to go to the emergency room. Somebody needs something. Somebody need an appointment to see if they're already healthy. Somebody need their fur cut, their nails clipped, a shave, a groom, a chiropractor. I'm talking every goddamn thing you can think of. It just gets annoying. Somebody is waking you up every morning. Somebody is making a noise. Somebody is in something. Somebody's hiding behind something. Got to keep everybody separate. Everybody appeased. For goodness sake, if I add another goddamn animal, please shoot me. Okay?
No more
Because I'm
animals.
telling you, no more animals. There's just too many. And mind you, I don't even live by myself. My significant other lives here, and it's just too fucking much. There's always somebody doing something. And they messy. They just messy. Oof. Just messy.
Over stuff. Just for funsies.
Yeah. And you know, like, you get them this high quality, expensive food for them to just shit it out. Just shitting. And they had a nerve to not go where they need to go. Like, what is going on here? What is going on? So,
I agree with you.
That's
I
my
tell you
where
all
we
the
draw the
time,
line.
you
No
need to
more
get pet
animals.
insurance.
I'm not getting pet insurance. I draw the line on that. Absolutely not.
I mean, I don't want to see your vet bills if 2 or 3 of them gotta go at the same time.
Well, it's really not expensive unless it's like an emergency. So like Lloyd and Mavis, they're probably, Mavis probably be like $100 because she has all her vaccines and whatnot. Mavis and Ozzy and Ocean, they were like I think they were like $75 when they went separately, and they all go at different times in the year. So, the only ones that were together were Mavis and Lloyd, but now they're even on a different schedule too. And then I think Lloyd's like the same cost as Mavis, about $100. So they're all about $100 as long as they're healthy.
That's what I'm saying. As long as they're healthy, but that stuff is gonna quickly skyrocket if one of them becomes non-healthy.
Somebody's gonna have to sacrifice an arm or a leg.
And
it won't be me. Like, Ozzy, you gonna give your brother an arm?
The animals don't know.
Oh, the animals really be living a life of luxury. Clearly,
they're like, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that.
Right, and then demanding with it.
Exactly. I agree with you though. You got to chill out on the animals. Although the last one was a surprise.
Yeah, he was not planned, and boy, does he make it known.
And they just take up space. That's how people be getting rid of them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I see how people just dump some of the animals I got on the street because it's just a lot. Now, would I do that? No, that's not my character. Like, I feel like, when you sign up for these things, you know what you're getting. But sometimes it'd be like, all right, now, Ozzy, you're running out. Do you want to end up on the road in a box?
I agree. Bro, you got to limit yourself till you get your bigger place where you can house more animals.
Honestly, even bigger place. I'm going to have to hire a nanny, an animal nanny.
Yeah, somebody to do somebody else to help you. Because domesticated animals, they require a lot next to children.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might as well be. They just can't talk, which I'm thankful for. Highly. But
they have a lot to say.
They know how to communicate however they communicate. So
I feel like your house, your animals would just be bickering all day.
Honestly, somebody's always messing with somebody. And another thing is they don't like each other. So like Lloyd, which is the dog, doesn't like Mavis or any of the bunnies. So nobody, right? And then Mavis doesn't like Mavis is like interested in the bunnies, so Ozzy and Ocean, but they don't like her. So Ozzy likes Mavis, but Mavis and Ozzy are always fighting. And then Ocean thinks that Mavis shouldn't come in the room where he stays, and so Ocean always is like charging or attacking Mavis. And then you have and then I already said that, but Lloyd doesn't like any of them. So, and then they're Ozzy and Ocean like Lloyd, but Lloyd doesn't like them. So it's just it's just a lot.
Ozzy and Ocean don't like each other.
And then Ozzy and Ocean despise each other. Not just like despise. They would like to rip each other to shreds type of relationship. So yeah, it's just always something.
It feels like you're running the inmates.
Honestly, that's what it feels like. I feel like I'm running a damn prison. Yes.
But who's really in charge of the place? You or the animals? Who's the warden?
The animals. Honestly, Ozzy. He's the main gang member of the house, and he runs the unit. Ozzy runs the show. Everybody like moves for Ozzy. Everybody. Ozzy or Ocean, but Ocean's just more chill. Ozzy's way more
in your face,
like active in your face. Like he has more attitude, more sass, to give. So
that's crazy. I feel like bunnies get this rap as being like very docile creatures,
cute.
And I don't actually think
cute.
Most of the bunnies that we've had have like always like taken
They're
up
very
space,
demanding.
demanded space, and run the show. Like they're never really that docile. Like I would say a cat
they're
or a
always
dog is
extremely
more
demanding.
docile. What do you say?
They're always extremely demanding.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I would say a cat or a dog is probably more docile.
Yeah, the cat is definitely the best. The cat is the most docile, and she really does her thing. And then at night she likes to come and hang out. But for the most part during the day, she's like off doing her thing, so you don't have to really worry about the cat. Lloyd, he gets away with murder. His mama's the problem there. So, I guess the parent is a huge factor. You gotta be careful who you pick as a parent.
That's wild.
All right, Courtney, what's your next one?
Where down the line? I mean, this isn't as serious, but I draw the line at people who like shame people who like wear makeup and get dressed up and like are concerned about their appearance. Like people try to shame people who are like, I don't know, concerned about their aesthetics as if like they're vain or something. And I'm like, I just see it totally oppositely. It's like I care enough about myself that I actually put effort into my appearance. So I draw the line at people who like shame people for because they think it's like a vain thing.
Yeah, I feel like we're in 2023. Come on now. Like, whatever you want to do, what makes you feel great and confident, do that, please.
Exactly.
I don't understand why. Like, if you want to wear makeup, but you know who you are, do that. If you want to have cosmetic surgery, do that. If you want to break a leg, go ahead and do that too. Get tattoos. Why not? Do that. I mean, who am I to tell you what is right and wrong? Because I don't know.
Exactly. And also, it's like, the thing is like, everybody actually does curate their own aesthetic, whether they know it or not. Everybody curates a look for themselves. Now, whether your aesthetic is aligned with the trends is the question. But they tend to like sort of villainize people who align themselves with the trends. And I think some people can maybe be vain about it, but I think for the most part, at least I've noticed the people who do it, it's more just an aesthetic appreciation. It's a creative thing. It's an expression thing. Sometimes it's a skill thing. It's like, it's so much more than just, I'm concerned about my hair or my makeup and this and that and third. You know what I mean? Because you're not a better person because you don't care. Not like somehow inherently better,
Yeah.
So that's where I draw the line. But I think that's my
that's a good one.
But what about you? Got something else?
I'm gonna have to draw the line with Christianity. Where are we gonna stop doing this bullshit? Because what you're reading is what they think you should be reading.
Exactly.
You really got to do your own research. Like Christianity, especially in America, American Christianity, it became a thing once we came over here. Was through slavery, right? Through the Atlantic slave trade and whatnot. So with that rationale alone, you should know that there's probably a little less true to that book than what you would think. So can we please just drop it? Please drop it. Let it go, and please do some research, not just a Google search. Do some research, and figure out
like religion, though. Not so much like, or I'll say religious, like dogmatic principles. I won't say just religion, but like, I hear that, and I think it's really tied to Christianity. But I don't think Christianity itself is the issue. Is everything else that has been attached to it, like fundamentalism and like kind of radical ideas about it. Is that, to me, is where the issue is.
But I think the problem with Christianity is so represented by what it is currently today, right?
Yeah.
And so I mean, true Christianity may have not been as problematic, but there's little known about that. Um,
Hmm.
especially in America, like early American, I guess during slavery times, but I don't think it's as well documented as it is like today. And like
Yeah, that's true.
today is just more of like a cult like nature of like,
Yeah, it's
you
shifted.
do these rituals and you like believe this one person, and this person is your like, it's not your God, but it's like dang near that at the same time. Like, it's just too much
Yeah,
going on. Like, and then like the
there's
practices
such a
that y'all
conflict.
are practicing are the very things that you're telling me not to do. Like, it doesn't make sense. The math doesn't math. So
So you think we should live in a world devoid totally of like religion or
I
Christianity?
don't think it should be totally of religion, but Christianity, yes.
Well, I think as we
Because
know it,
yeah, as we know it, yeah.
and kind of that like Protestantism and
Mm-hmm.
like, but I'm not saying the Orthodox Church is like correct either. I'm not saying either one is
No,
like
no, no,
correct.
no, no. I
But
don't know enough about those churches. I just know Christianity or Christian churches because that's what I've gone
Southern
to
Baptist,
and experienced. Southern Baptist specifically. And
yeah.
we've been to like Pentecostal, and there's another one. But they
Um,
kind of follow the same principles.
non-denominational as well.
Yeah. They kind of follow the same principles though.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I agree. I think, well, most Protestantism is like just little offshoots of each other, you know? But I
Yeah.
think that, I mean, to me, Christianity has such a cult, like you said, it does have kind of a cult like following and it's very dogmatic. And there's certain, I guess, ideologies that they push now that to me are more harmful than positive and uplifting a lot of times. You know what I mean? Like,
For sure.
I shouldn't be afraid to walk into a church if this place is about love and light and
Exactly.
happiness and
Yeah, you should
all
truly come
that.
as you are. Even like condemning people of different preferences. Who are you to tell me? Like, you over
Yeah.
there battling your own sins.
And
Who are you
also,
to tell me that mine are less than or greater than yours? So you over
exactly.
there sinning as you speak.
And the other thing too is like, people don't realize that at the time, Jesus would have been considered an absolute radical leftist, like very not the tradition, very not
Yeah,
what was happening, like actual Christianity at the time. It was like Jesus and a ragtag group of individuals following his like this new, almost like cult. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's
hmm,
kind of what it would have been like seen as, because until then, it was very much polytheistic, very much Roman gods and goddesses.
yeah,
And that was what was tradition. But now, like, Jesus is like, no, I am the Son of God, you know? And there were,
hmm,
well, there was obviously like in the Old Testament, Judaism. So Jewish people had already like discovered God, but even that was a sect, a group of people who were also being persecuted at the time by these other civilizations. So Jesus was actually about taking the downtrodden, the people who were not with the establishment. That's what Jesus was about, you
very
know?
true.
And I
Hmm.
think that has gotten so lost because now Jesus is the establishment, and um so much of tradition, so much of what people consider traditional and like core values or whatever, this like moralistic approach they take to it. And really it's sort of a cover up for their like deep fundamentalist kind of uh like honestly in some ways white supremacist patriarchal capitalist like ideas.
Hmm.
That's what a lot of religion, especially I'll say Protestantism, well not all Protestantism I'll say, but our experience of Southern Baptist Church, that's what that stuff is. It's like regurgitating that rhetoric,
Yeah,
you know, and
I feel
it's
that.
dangerous. I don't think you
All
could
right,
pay
so
me to
what's your
step in
next one?
church. Okay. My next, where I draw the line. This is kind of another arbitrary one. I draw the line. I have always drawn the line at the customer is always right.
That's a good
I don't
one.
believe that for a split second. I just don't. I think if somebody
I agree
is
with that.
in the service industry and providing you something, you should really be thanking them for doing something that you were unwilling to do for yourself on some level, right? Like, yes, you are paying them, but the payment itself is not the thanks. And we
Agreed.
exist too much in a transactional culture where people feel like if I pay you, I should have ultimate access to you or something, or you should be the most gracious, grateful because I gave you money. And I'm like, this is an exchange of service for money. So all they're obligated to do is provide said service. They're not obligated to get on their knees and praise the Lord that you came into their store and kiss their ass. That is not an obligation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, I really like when I go someplace, I really try to be like, even if it's like the service is not great, still be nice and like appreciative. Because like it's just hell, I've been in that space and I definitely had a bad attitude 9 times out of 10. So it's relatable.
And just nobody owes you anything. I'm like,
and then they don't be paying you enough to be dealing with these folks.
Yeah, they don't
really.
pay you. You are some of the least paid people in society, and you're supposed to be accepting most abuse from random people. Like, come on now. And the thing is, people in higher paid positions would never accept that sort of abuse, right? Why are we paying people the least and expecting them to accept the most shit? Let's make that make sense.
The math's not mathing.
It's definitely not mathing. I can't stand it. I can't, because customers come in entitled and then get mad at you for not providing stellar customer service, which means kiss their ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what world are we living in? Come on now.
Obviously, the Matrix, because the math's not mathing.
And I will say most of the time, first off, you get more flies with honey than vinegar. That's number one. So, like,
honestly,
to be honest, I've never had an issue with not just an outrageous issue with a customer service rep or somebody, because if I approach it from how do we figure the situation out, or how do I get the good service that I'm paying for in the most respectful way possible, 10 times out of 10 in my experience, they don't just be popping off on people for no reason. The people at McDonald's is mad because y'all come up there cursing them out. Let's be clear on that.
I mean, I think sometimes they just don't want to work, and that's fine. But maybe that day you should just go home, sweet cheeks. But I also get to it like they probably not paying you enough, baby. I mean, you also got to work your other job and your other job after that.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes I guess some people do have a bad attitude, but like, I don't know. My experience hasn't been that they just pop off for no reason. That's my experience. I will say that. And I have gone to a lot of fast food restaurants, okay, admittedly. And I've gone to a lot of service-based places in my lifetime, which we all do. We all live in a very service-based world. Even going to Target, that's a service-based world,
Mm-hmm. Go to Target, y'all. That's a good place.
Yeah. So, I don't know.
Target sponsor us, please.
Rude customers, I draw the absolute line.
Agreed. Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah, you got something else you want to say?
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I literally just had one. It literally slipped my mind. Okay, well, I'm just going to use my other one that I had as a backup. I think I'm just going to ask you. Well, I guess it is what I think is drawing the line on. But do you think, I feel like there should be just a line drawn on like all this space and water exploration personally. Like, I understand the need to like learn, but like I just feel like part of it is just very exploitative.
You think
like
so?
I think so. I really do. I mean, when have you known anybody in America specifically to go into something without trying to exploit it?
That's probably true.
So, I mean even the Europeans.
What's out there.
I think it's good to know, but like the whole space mission to find someplace to live and then $1,000 to get a flight. outside of the into Mars or
Yeah.
whatever. Like, come on, like people can't afford that.
Wait, so they're
Like,
looking for water on other planets? Is that what they're looking for?
well, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, the whole idea is just like, some of y'all wonder why y'all equipment don't come back.
Yeah.
There's probably some
Well,
creature under there eating y'all stuff up.
I agree with what you're saying in part. Like, I think knowledge is never learning more about the world and universe that we live in is never bad, just pure knowledge. But I think I agree with you. I think a lot of times knowledge is we're gaining knowledge to exploit. And the issue that I think we need to be concerned about is why can't we take care of the planet that we live on and we know we can exist on? Why we got to go to some other planet rather than just
Exactly.
take care of the planet
Yeah.
we
You gonna
have?
dog the one you out. You dog the one you're in now, and then you're gonna go to
Yeah.
another one and do the same thing because you're not gonna appreciate that one.
Exactly.
You're just gonna
That's
think
why
you
I'm
can
like,
bounce from planet to planet to planet. You see, you get my point.
it's like exploit as much as you can, and then when those
And then go
resources
somewhere
start to
else.
get too low, okay, now we need to
Bounce
discover.
around.
We need to bounce around and make sure we have another place where we can go. And then they're going to stratify that and not make it accessible to everybody. So then it's like, okay, well, certain people just have to die out with the planet. And then we're going to go extract resources from another planet. And then, when that one,
Exactly.
or we can't survive there,
Go
then
to another one.
Another planet. And I'm like, that is not what this is supposed to be about. We're supposed to be about, this is the planet we have. It's a beautiful planet. It has survived for billions of years and will survive for billions more. If
We're the ones running amok.
Exactly. And if we take care of it, you can live in harmony with the land. That's what this is about.
You should
Not
watch.
to find another place
Have
to
you ever seen
exploit.
Avatar? Have you seen Avatar?
No, I haven't seen it.
Okay, well, you should watch Avatar because it's kind of like that premise, and but it's really good how they it's really interesting how they appreciate the land, and then they kind of get like that exact energy back from the land, like it's tenfold. You know what I mean? Because they're putting their they know they need the land to live off of, but it's not to the point of exploiting, and they're very appreciative to the things that they are using to survive, but they don't exploit it to the point of like mass consuming or anything like that. They get what they need and then they leave it. And then they have like sacred connections with different things. So that movie specifically really got me thinking about it because it's just like, in the movie, the people who are on Earth are trying to find another place that's habitable because Earth is basically dying, right? And so is that the same premise of like, when is enough enough? We got to draw the line because y'all just keep coming around here exploiting, every piece of anything for its values, and then y'all just go on and bounce to the next thing when you're done. You just chew it up and eat it and then spit it back out.
Well, I think it's actually, if you look at animals, it's kind of like you live with animals, but when their needs are met, there's no need for them to go seek anything else. We were just talking about how like the dog doesn't attack the rabbit usually attacks the dog for whatever reason, but like usually animals don't go around killing and exploiting things unless it absolutely becomes necessary to do so. They don't like. And I think that's the big difference between like humanity and human like constructs and animal life is animal life is very much about sustaining subsistence and continuing our lineage from kind of this like individual perspective, and then sometimes a collective, but human interference has always been about like, even the first civilizations is about how do we collectivize and stratify and exploit as much as we can from the land to get some sort of gain for ourselves.
Exactly.
In some ways.
Exactly. Even when it comes to like killing animals, like you said with the animals, they only get what they Yeah, I was gonna say it's always about I need more, but it's like they get what they need to sustain right then and there. And if they have to go out and, hunt again, then they just do that. But like the idea of like I have to take all the resources I could possibly get my hands on is strange. It's not normal.
It is strange. It's not because like, you think about like even massive animals like polar bears or whales, and like they will go months without eating. They will eat that 1 or 2 seals and during their feeding time, and then go months, like their body has adapted to survive in some ways without the excess. And like I think humans have adapted to, we like are conditioned to the excess now. It's like I can't have one or two. I have 4, 5, 6, and I gotta store it for 5, 10 months down the road, or I gotta
Right.
make this. Like, and I think on some level, I don't think it's horrible to like save if you know like the winter is coming and we need to jar things
Sure.
or whatever. But I think it comes to a certain point where we see like, people who are like billionaires and stuff, and like it's like absurd excess. Like absolutely absurd excess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and like, what are you gonna do with that? Just hold
And what
on
are
to
you
it?
gonna do with it? Yeah. And I just think that that's, like you said, I think it's against nature, actually, to like, nature is about like using the planet and putting back into the planet and making it a cycle. I mean, most things about Earth is a cycle, some sort of
Very
like
true.
put in and come out, put in and come out. You know what I mean? Like weather, it comes in cycles, and same thing with like plants. That is a cycle. Like food growth is a cycle. These things that are very natural are cycles. So it's about replenishing. It's using and replenishing, using and replenishing. And I feel like our humanity has kind of come in and like made it take. It's like there's no replenish. It's just like use. Use, use,
Very
use, use,
true.
use, 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 use. And then like when shit goes up in flames, it's like, oh, let's go somewhere else and use, use,
Yeah,
use, use,
it's just
use,
like,
use.
let's.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's like a true man thing. I don't know,
Yeah, I don't know. It does feel
because they do that
very
with women too.
patriarchal. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They do that. A lot of men have that idea about women, like, oh well, if you can no longer serve me, I will just go get another woman. Meaning you didn't value the woman or women in general.
That you had in the first place.
Yeah.
If you had one.
If you had one, yeah. So it's like it's a very it's an effed up ideology. You know what I mean? I guess that's why maybe women are associated more with the idea of nature, because there's an idea of like giving and constantly replenishing and nurturing and
Yeah.
whatever. And men are seen as almost like anti-nature. You know what I mean? At least I will say in literature, that's a lot of times how women are sort of portrayed. Like, Mother Nature is a woman, versus a lot of gods. These like rulers overpower our men. So I don't know. I think that's very. I agree. That's where I draw the line too. I think space exploration. I think it's good for knowledge, and I get
Yeah.
missions to go and learn.
I
Same
feel
way
like if
we
it
like.
was genuine, it would be okay, but it's typically not.
Yeah,
So
if it's like just to learn about how we get certain people to go up there and live and exploit that planet, then yeah, I do definitely draw the line at that, and I think it's will eventually be problematic, because like we're probably not gonna be able to afford to get up there, live. Tell you the truth. So yeah, I don't know. I guess the Earth is fucked. But,
I feel like there's time to you could correct, but it's just like no one's interested in doing that. So because let's be
or
honest, they
not
can
on
make
a
money
mass
from
scale.
not.
It would take.
I was gonna say, but it makes money for America to not do it. To be honest, so
Exactly. That's really quite unfortunate. I wonder what the Earth would have looked like in like 100 years or maybe 200 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, and then you really think about the universe. Some people don't believe in the universe, but I personally do, because I just think ain't no freaking coincidence that Earth is the only one that like exists like this. But like just the whole idea of like we're just a blip. We are a very itty bitty, teeny tiny blip in a massive, unconceivable world full of other forms, like rock forms, right?
yeah,
Like where there could easily be life somewhere else. Maybe it's not what we
for
identify
sure.
as life, but it's like it's just very arrogant to think that this is the only that this way is like it, and this way is that we are kind of owed access to other spaces, I think. And I'm like, I don't know. The older I get, the more I become more like harmonious, like with like nature and the whole idea of like at least
Same.
subsisting and like I just feel like Native Americans had it right. And honestly, what
Honestly.
they consider more like primitive groups really did have it right. It's not like
Mm-hmm.
it's like these other like more mechanized groups, and we all know who those mechanized groups are. Come in and they just like destroy stuff. And like
Yeah.
while indigenous groups and like more, provincial groups, I'll say, have historically lived off the land and lived in harmony with the earth. Like, truth
I
be
feel that.
told, if Earth wanted to just swallow us up, it would. Like, if some like massive chasm or something came, like none of us are out beating Earth. You know what I'm saying? So,
Seriously.
so it's like live in harmony with it. Take what you can from it. Take what you need from it, and then put back
Oh yeah,
into it.
only what you need, and like pour back
Yeah,
into it tenfold.
and I just feel like that's been the
Because nature
cornerstone
is
of
so gracious with us, like truly, like
it really
truly.
is.
It's very forgiving, but it's like if you are just constantly exploiting it, and that's what we've done here in America specifically.
Mhm.
Um, this is why we're seeing the issues that we're having. Like, this is why.
I also think too, like the cornerstone of most provincial, non like mechanized societies has always been to live in harmony with nature and to
Mm-hmm.
coexist. You can look at that even in like, African nations or
Mm-hmm.
Aboriginal nations in Australia, Native American nations here in America, and then America, South American nations. It's always the first types of people live off the land.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's like I guess it's sort of back to basics, but like that's how they have existed.
Very
Yeah,
true.
maybe I'm talking outside of my mouth because I definitely want to pursue a career in like, the glitz and glam, but I don't know. I also retreat to my tree house. like,
Honestly.
like, I don't know. But yeah, that is wild. I do think that's why they're just looking to exploit other planets versus just living and existing on Earth,
Seriously.
the planet we do have, which is a beautiful planet.
Right? It's lasted this long, so come on now.
It's supposed to last for billions more years.
Well, it could if we would took care of it.
Yeah. I mean, I think the planet itself will probably last for billions of years. Is whether life exists on it or not.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I think that was a good discussion. Discussing some of our where we draw the lines at.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we hope you guys. I didn't expect to turn into like Earth Mother
I know,
consciousness
right?
at the end,
Save the
but
planet and the
it's
animals.
not. Hey, I don't think we've
Spill
ever
of the
talked
day.
about that. We haven't ever talked about conservation efforts on our channel. Actually, we probably should talk
No, we
about it more.
haven't. We probably should. Cause like
Because that,
we're probably. It seems like we're both pretty passionate. Shit.
yeah, no, I mean, because to be honest, I now I think about it, I think that's sort of part of like liberation too, like social and political
Yeah.
liberation for people of color is like a lot of times that means we're turning away from like mechanization and capitalism and going back to more, you know,
Mm-hmm.
substantive like ways of living. A lot of times.
Yeah. Mm.
So, or just at least being conscious of it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I think that would be, we should probably discuss that more.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
We look forward, like, what does that really look like? I mean, obviously, you want to live on a farm, so I feel like that's really a big passion of yours.
It is a big goal.
A farm and telling people what you want. Tell them, put it in the universe.
I want honestly. I will have period poo. Okay.
hmm
Um, I want I will have a piece of land, a large piece of land where I can have a animal rescue, specifically bunny rabbits. But honestly, I'm open to all animals. Okay, all mammals, no reptiles. We don't do those. Um,
hmm
And then I want to have a winery. I also want to have my own little personal farm with like goats, llamas, donkeys, horses, those types of animals. And then I also want to live on this land. So I will have that. I'm speaking into existence because I will bust my behind trying to get it because that is my goal. And I want to make sure that I have passive income to make sure that I can do things I enjoy and not have to go slave at these corporate America jobs to have it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
Of that. I personally think you need to have a combo deal where people can stay on the land, enjoy the winery, but the rabbits and like the animal rescue, it's like bunnies and wine.
And I have to figure out the logistics of that because the bunnies, I wouldn't want the bunnies to be like directly accessible to the person, like to the people staying.
Yeah, I hear that.
Because what if they steal my rabbits? And you already know how I feel about my bunnies. You come between me and my bunnies, you got a problem.
Or people don't always have the same ethos in how they treat animals. So
true.
So you won't want people to get too rough with them. But,
yeah, that too. Anyways, that was a great episode.
Yeah, good chat.
I enjoyed playing this with you. We have to do it again.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can think of some more things where I draw the line for sure.
Honestly, I'm sure there's a bunch more.
Exactly.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us in this episode, and we will see you guys in the next one.
Bye, everybody.